In this video, I'm going to tell you and give you 3 main lessons from the book that changed my life, written by an author who is a Guinness World Record holder. How one book changed the way I communicate with people and made me more confident. With this book, I developed a love for reading, and from that day on, I started reading every single day. I had a problem. I would start reading a book, but I would always quit. It happened every time. One ordinary evening, while scrolling through TikTok, I came across a quote from this book. Talk to people about themselves, and they will listen to you for hours. This quote interested me so much, I downloaded the online version of the book and started reading it that very same day. I have always been interested in psychology, and also the psychology of communication, because it has always been important to me. And it still is. It was with this very book that I started reading every day. Here are 3 lessons that I apply in my own life and what changed in my life after following these 3 pieces of advice from the person who conducted more than 50,000 interviews throughout his career. He talked to everyone from presidents to serial killers. That's why I'm confident that we can learn something from him. Let's get straight to it. The biggest enemies of a good conversation are questions that can be answered with yes or no. What kills a conversation? Don't short questions that make conversations boring and usually make the other person lose interest in the conversation. I try to ask interesting questions that can be discussed for hours. I try to avoid questions that can be answered with simple and short answers. I learn to ask the right questions that make conversations interesting and engaging. I try to avoid questions that will only give me repetitive short answers or answers I already knew. Don't ask questions just for the sake of asking. I ask what I'm genuinely interested in. Genuine interest in the other person and listening. Second, the book talks a lot about this, and I also believe that genuine interest and listening are the key to a good conversation and to being a good conversationalist. As I mentioned before, while I was watching TikTok, I came across a video with this quote from the book. Talk to people about themselves, and they will listen to you for hours. That quote interested me so much that I downloaded the book and started reading it that same day. I applied it like this. If I constantly talk, interrupt, and don't listen to the other person, but only try to keep talking myself, it won't lead to anything good. You can't become someone people enjoy talking to if the other person understands that you're not listening to them, and plus that you're not even interested in what they're saying. Talking too much won't make me smarter, but listening will. When I talk, I don't learn anything new. But when I listen, I can learn things I didn't know before. Disclaimer, this doesn't mean that we should only listen all the time. Not at all. There has to be a balance between listening and talking. Listening to other people changed my life a lot. I noticed that when I truly listen to someone, they tell their stories with so much enthusiasm, and I learn many different things from their words. Listening makes me a good conversationalist. People want to talk to someone who is interested in listening, not someone who interrupts every second and never lets them speak. That's why there should be a balance. Maintain eye contact. We underestimate how powerful eye contact really is, and how much this one action makes us look confident. When another person is speaking, I maintain eye contact, but when I'm speaking, I may look away from time to time. I remember that when I first started, maintaining eye contact and looking people in the eyes, I was very nervous inside, but I didn't show it on the outside. In fact, you couldn't even tell that I was nervous. When you maintain eye contact, it's very important, but don't open your eyes too wide or stare at someone too intensely, like the kind of look some men give to women. You know what I mean? Eye contact gives me confidence. I always try to look people in the eyes. For example, if I keep looking down or looking away, the other person will think that I'm uncomfortable talking to them. So keep eye contact, keep your back straight, but don't stare at someone the way some men do. In conclusion, I want to say that the book is called How to Talk to Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere by Larry King. If you like this type of video, I can make a part 2. Thank you so much for watching.